All right, strap in, everyone, because today we are diving deep into a case that is both chilling and perplexing.
Absolutely.
The disappearance of Zebb Quinn.
Yeah.
This case has haunted Asheville, North Carolina for over 2 decades.
Right.
And we're going to unpack every twist, every turn, and every strange detail
It's a fascinating case.
that has kept investigators and really an entire community searching for answers for years.
What makes this case so compelling is that it starts off like any other missing persons report.
Right.
Zebb Quinn, an 18-year-old
Yeah.
working at Walmart, finishes his shift on January 2nd, 2000, and just vanishes.
Branovich's, yeah.
Seemingly into thin air.
It's like, poof, gone. Right.
But then things take a really bizarre turn almost immediately.
That's an understatement. Just a few days later, Quinn's car is found abandoned in a restaurant parking lot.
Right.
But it's not just parked there.
No.
It's like a scene out of a cryptic puzzle.
Exactly.
Headlights are on.
Where are you?
There's a live puppy in the back seat. And get this, a lipstick drawing on the rear window.
Wow.
It's like, what do you even make of that?
It raises so many questions, right? It's like someone want the car to be found,
Right.
but with this strained, almost theatrical flair,
Yeah.
that lipstick drawing especially became kind of a symbol of the case, you know?
It's creepy. It is. It's like, oh, what does this mean?
The unsettling mystery of it all.
And that's just the beginning.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Like we said, we're diving deep, and this case is a labyrinth of strange events, conflicting stories, and dead ends.
So to understand the complexity of this case, we kind of have to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
The last confirmed sighting of Zebb was with a coworker, Jason Owens, at a gas station.
Oh.
They were supposedly planning to go look at a car that Zebb was thinking about buying.
Oh, okay.
Owens claims that Zebb suddenly got a page, became visibly agitated, and just sped off really recklessly, even rear-ending Owens' truck in the process.
Okay, so that seems kind of fishy already.
It does, right?
Yeah.
But wait, it gets even stranger.
Okay, lay it on me.
Hours after this alleged accident, Owens shows up at a hospital with injuries.
Oh, no.
He claims that he was in another car accident.
Another one?
Another one.
Right.
But here's the catch.
What's the catch?
There's no police report filed for the second accident.
That's suspicious.
It's a big red
A
flag.
huge red flag.
It's one of many inconsistencies in Owens' account of that night.
It seems like he's not being totally truthful, right?
It definitely casts a shadow of doubt on his story.
Yeah.
And then there's this other strange thing.
Okay.
Someone called in sick to Walmart, claiming to be Zebb the day after he disappeared.
What?
Turns out it was Owens making the call.
No way.
And from his own workplace.
So Owens is at the center of all this.
He is definitely a person of interest.
Yeah.
But hold on.
Okay.
There's another layer to this whole thing.
Right.
Zebb, it turns out, had a bit of a crush on a girl named Misty Taylor. Uh-oh. And rumor has it that he'd been receiving threats from her very jealous boyfriend.
So we have a love triangle.
A potential love triangle.
Oh, boy. This is getting complicated.
It adds a whole other dimension to the investigation, don't you think?
It does, yeah.
Could this be a crime of passion?
It's possible, right?
Did the boyfriend act on his threats?
I mean, the police had to have looked into that.
Of
yes.
course, they explored that angle.
Yeah.
There was even a witness who reported seeing Zebb's car driven by someone who matched Misty Taylor's description.
Wow. So we've got a staged car, a suspicious coworker, and a possible love triangle.
It's like something out of a movie.
Yeah, a true crime thriller.
Right.
And trust me, this is only the beginning of this story.
Oh, there's so much more to uncover.
Buckle up.
The investigation takes so many twists and turns from here.
It's a wild ride.
You won't believe what happens next.
We'll be back with more of the Zebb Quinn case after a quick break.
Remember Jason Owens, the coworker?
Yeah, with the weird story.
Well, 15 years after Zebb vanished,
Wow, 15 years.
he was arrested,
Finally.
but not for Zebb's disappearance.
Oh.
This time, it was for a completely different but equally horrific crime.
Oh, gosh.
The murder of a pregnant Food Network star,
No way.
Christy Schoen,
I remember that.
her husband, J.T. Codd,
Oh, my God.
and their unborn child.
What are the chances
It's a crazy coincidence.
that the prime suspect in one cold case suddenly becomes a convicted murderer in a totally separate case?
Right?
So investigators had to be thinking, could this be the missing link we've been searching for all these years?
Exactly. They had to be wondering if these cases were connected somehow.
Yeah.
And as they looked into the Codd murders, things got even darker.
Oh, no.
Owens claimed he accidentally ran over the couple with his truck.
With his truck?
Yeah. and then panicked, dismembered their bodies, and burned the remains.
That's horrifying.
A gruesome discovery.
It is, yeah.
And one that might just hold a clue to what happened to Zebb Quinn.
Okay, so how does this connect back to Zebb?
Well, remember, Owens initially claimed he and Zebb were going to check out a car.
Right, before Zebb disappeared.
And Owens admitted to stealing things from the Cods, including a car.
Wait, so the same guy who said he was with Zebb to look at a car is now admitting to stealing a car from his other victims.
It's pretty suspicious, right?
That's more than a coincidence.
It seems like there could be a pattern of behavior, and
Yeah.
it doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
During a search of Owens' property,
Okay.
investigators found something really unsettling.
What did they find?
Fabric, leather materials, and unknown hard fragments
Ugh.
buried under a slab of concrete.
Oh my gosh.
They also found bags of what looked like pulverized lime.
Lime.
Yeah, which can be used to speed up decomposition.
Wow, that's creepy.
It's a disturbing thought.
That evidence related to Zebb's disappearance could be right there on Owen's property.
Right.
This must have reignited the investigation.
It brought a renewed sense of urgency. And those findings were enough to finally get Owens indicted for Zebb Quinn's murder.
Finally, some justice for Zebb.
In 2017, a full 17 years after he vanished.
That's a long time.
It felt like a huge step towards getting answers.
But I'm guessing this isn't the end of the story.
Of course not. These cases are never that straightforward.
Right.
The trial was delayed multiple times.
Oh, really?
Partly due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
That makes sense.
And then a plea deal was reached in 2022.
A plea deal.
Owens agreed to plead guilty.
To what?
To a lesser charge.
Okay.
Accessory after the fact to first-degree murder in Zebb's case.
Hold on. How can he plead guilty as an accessory if he's already in prison for another murder?
Well, that's where Owens' version of what happened to Zebb comes in.
Okay, I'm listening.
He claimed that his uncle, Walter Gene Owens, was the one who actually killed Zebb.
Wait, another relative.
I know, it gets complicated.
This is a tangled web.
According to Owens, his uncle was hired to kill Zebb by Misty Taylor's boyfriend.
The jealous ex.
That's right. Owens said his uncle lured Zebb to a remote area in the Pisgah National Forest and shot him with a .22 rifle.
Oh my gosh.
He then dismembered the body and burned the remains.
That's a very specific story.
Right.
So is any of it true?
And why would Owens go along with something so horrific?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Owens claimed he was terrified of his uncle and feared for his own life if he didn't help cover it up.
Oh, okay.
He also said he helped stage Zebb's car in the restaurant parking lot.
That explains the lipstick and the puppy.
It does, if you believe his story.
But if Owens is telling the truth, what happened to his uncle?
Did he face charges for Zebb's murder?
Yeah.
Well, that's where things get even more complicated.
Of course they do.
Gene Owens died in 2017.
Oh, wow.
Just a couple of months before Jason Owens was indicted for Zebb's murder.
So he can't be held accountable.
Unfortunately not.
So it seems like Zebb's family may never really see justice, with the uncle being dead. But did this at least give them some closure, knowing what happened?
Well, that's where things get tricky. The plea deal did bring a legal end to the case, but Zebb's family and even the prosecution, they're not so sure about Owens' confession.
Really?
They think he might still be hiding things.
Like what?
Protecting himself, maybe even others who might have been involved.
So even with Owens in prison, there's still this feeling that we don't know the whole story.
It's like a puzzle with missing pieces,
Yeah.
Owens' account of his uncle's involvement.
Right.
It all hinges on what he says. There's no other proof, no witnesses, no physical evidence.
So we're just supposed to trust the word of a convicted murderer.
It's a tough pill to swallow, right? Someone who's already proven he'll lie and manipulate.
Exactly.
And that's why the prosecution, even though they got a guilty plea,
right,
they're still not convinced.
I can see why.
They believe Owens made up this story to make himself look less guilty and maybe protect others who helped him.
It's like he's trying to paint himself as the victim.
Right. Caught in the middle of his uncle's mess.
But something just doesn't add up.
There are too many loose ends.
Like what?
Why would Gene Owens, the uncle, who had no connection to Misty Taylor or her boyfriend, why would he agree to kill Zebb?
What would be his motive?
Exactly.
And what about all those strange things with Zebb's car?
Yeah, the puppy, the lipstick.
Was that just random? Or was there something more to it?
It makes you wonder.
It does.
These are the questions that still bother investigators and the community.
Yeah, I bet.
Some people think there's more to find out.
Right.
A hidden truth that Owens is trying to bury.
It's a chilling thought.
It is. It really is.
We may never know what truly happened to Zebb Quinn.
The Zebb Quinn case really shows us that sometimes, even when someone is convicted, justice doesn't feel complete.
Right.
It's a reminder that there are dark parts of human nature that we might never understand.
And that sometimes the truth is more complicated and darker than we can imagine. The truth is out there, and sometimes it's darker than we imagine. Until next time, stay safe and keep